Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, my personal 1964 Karmann Ghia. And if you've been watching this little series, you know a little bit about it. We put wheels and tires on the thing. That was, simple because I'm an idiot and bought 8-inch wide wheels. So those are on it. Last episode, we dropped an engine in a 1905, but this is where this one's going to come from. I hopefully want to drive this car this episode. Don't think it's going to happen just with the work scope. I also only have 2 weeks to get this thing done. But this episode, I'm going to start off with what I feel is going to be the more of a pain in the, you know what. And got the car running in the last episode. It's a 1905, I think I just said that. Anywho's, digressing, regressing. I do not like the Solex carburetors that are on here. So I did the right thing and bought some dual 40s. Well, 2-barrel dual 40s. Anywho, they're 40 on it. Now I'm going 40 up. So I'm going to start off with that. I'm hoping I can get away with running the linkage that's on there currently, and I do not have to replace the fan shroud, doghouse, cooler, the whole thing, the whole unit, because the linkage I got with the kit does not work with it. I could have ordered linkage that would, but you know what? I got crossbar linkage on here now. I'm going to try to get it to work. If it works, perfect. If it doesn't, well, we'll come up with another genius idea, I guess. But with that said, join me in the back of the car. Let's start stripping this thing down and putting a different set of carburetors on. Start getting this engine out, or get these carbs out. Sucks. Like I said, it's not really a big deal. I'm just again hoping I can. Damn, I gotta take those off. 48s. I'm just hoping I can use the shroud and not have to swap it out. So yeah, just gonna slowly take this stuff apart and slowly put this stuff back together. But yeah, like I said, I'm going with that, cheap knockoff Impies. Well, I mean, you can go there because I know them. Basically, it's the carb that pretty much I put on everything, or that's on everything. So, with that said, I have a ton of jets and possibly days and days at this point, maybe even an hour or 3. Of tuning expertise on those. And by expertise, I mean I can make them run. This, I'm just not happy with. And again, are they good carbs? They could be. I've tuned them before, or I've tuned them on vehicles before. Let me speak correctly. The problem is, I have a hair. The problem with, well, basically what I just said is I am used to tuning them on vehicles that already have them. I've never had to set them up for scratch or from scratch to, well, you see the thing runs. The guy who built the engine wasn't lying. But I've never had to set these up from scratch to feel I am competent enough to, say, randomly pick jets like I do with like the Weber style and get it right. With that said, we got to redo all our fuel lines. Super. I don't need the grinder. That was for something else. That's off. Come on. Stupid clamp. They work too well. That's gonna leave a mark. You ever, get these to bite, and then they bite your hand meat? Oh, I am not gonna be a happy camper in a few minutes. That's gonna leave a blood blister or whatever you want to call it. It's gonna just suck. There we go. That's off. Man. What do I use? 12s? I hope I use 12s. My brain can only calibrate 12s right now. And again, I'm not saying there's anything, Pacifically or Atlantically wrong with these particular carburetors. I'm just not a huge fan of, well, they've been rebuilt, but I've showed you a couple things on them. I can say that they most likely have been rebuilt, but they look like something that's been rebuilt and just like goes on the discount bin as far as, yeah, they're kind of okay. I snaked, right? Snake action, I think. Like that? No, I couldn't have gone this way. If I did, that'd be awesome. Yep. We're gonna say I did because, well, hell, it worked. Stop moving. Like I said this in the other video, this the cable for the engine cover release tube, very inconvenient. Also, I dropped a nut. Come here. Do not get out of there. We're not fall into the engine. All right. One carb off. Oh, ow, damn it. I forgot. I also even tried and attempted. I put the balance tube on off camera just to see maybe if that was a thing. Side note, by what we were doing, it made it run a little bit better, but not to where, damn it, that pinch. Not to where, again, I'm happy with it. I also swapped the electronic ignition, or the guts in it, to the style that don't fall down. I think I just dropped my socket into the spark plug hole. It's a good thing we're taking off the carburetors. But yeah, where the hell does it go? Did I seriously drop it? I did. I dropped it right in the spark plug hole. Nice. Damn it. Can I get these off with pulling up? I don't know if I have clutch. Because the way I orientated it, of course, it's going to be backwards. Dumb. Like I said, I even tried putting the balance tube on. Because if you do, like I said, if you watch this channel, where the hell am I just going to throw you? Go over here for now. The square back. It ran like absolute garbage until I put the tubes on. And put the tubes on and it ran fine. And now, well, worse on there. So 2 carbs. Spill gas all over, that's perfect. What's that head look like? Head's fine. Come here, socket. Ta-da! Yeah, I dropped it right down to the spark plug hole. Yeah. Head's clear. I mean, it looks fine. All right, let me get the new carbs. I'll start putting them on. Carter, come up so I stop smacking my head on you. All right, guys, as I am a terrible host, and also we had many people last night coming in, got that in, that showed up, and my electrician was here. I was just, it's kind of hard to record when people don't like to be on camera. So I just kind of kept progress going because I need this car done. But with that said, the carbs are on. It's straightforward. Unbolt them, bolt them on. I have plenty of videos, I think, on doing dual carbs or installing dual carbs. But the first video, well, it's basically the same thing. Even though I had single barrels, these are dual barrels. Unbolt, bolt on. The one weird thing I will say is they said that this kit does not work with the factory fan shroud as far as the linkage goes. Well, the linkage is on and it works, so I don't know. I don't know if they shipped me the wrong linkage, which I'm fine with, or well, I don't. There's no reason this should work, or shouldn't work, or should work. Because then I see is like, oh, you gotta, beat the crap out of your, fan shroud or something like that to make it clear. And well, I didn't do any of that. Click. And I was worried about clearance on this side of the carburetor, and I did the, the correct thing, and because I thought maybe it was this side, like you couldn't, it hits the fan shroud, like you got to hit, or the linkage, because they said the linkage. I mean, I got oodles of clearance, and I can fit a piece of paper. It's tight, don't get me wrong, but if I can orientate correctly, I can get a piece of paper down there. All the way through. So it's not it hits the fan shroud issue. I do know on my 2180, the original fan shroud I had on that, but those were with dual 48 IDAs. I did have an issue, and I had to beat the crap out of it right here because the linkage would hit. But again, it fit. Not ideally, but it fit. So with that said, yeah, everything is currently just going together right now, or I'm just getting it, situated. And hopefully we can fire this thing up. I do not like that plug wire. Go this way. Can you go this way? It's like a little bit too short. Now where the hell's the plug? There it is. Fuel line. If you watch my videos, I'm putting these carbs on the Weber styles. What I typically do, if I have a pump, which we have a pump, is I'll take the out from there, run it to the front of this carb, and then out the back, because they're teed, you can't see, out the back nipple, and then that back nipple all the way across to the back nipple of this one. So basically it's one in. I do not like using the Maltese so much. The other carbs are unavoidable, but these, yeah, I just buy extra nipples, replace the plug because they'll come with plugged off. Take the plug off, put a nipple in its place, and yeah, just swoop-de-doo it. Where's your legs? There they are. Swoop-de-doo it where it needs to go. I just feel it's a bit cleaner of, damn it, of a install. Can I get away with using this line? I'm trying to salvage as much old components as I can. It's really hard to film when you got explosions happening in the background, or just some people that don't want to be on camera. And you know, you got to be a little respectful. Not everyone's a voyeurist person like myself, who likes to put themselves out to the whole interwebs for, punishment and criticization, to be ridiculed and criticized, I guess. And that's fine. I can't be mad at people like that. Plus, again, I've said before, this is my car, which doesn't really matter. And I'm doing my, work on it. And it's all stuff I've done before, covered on this channel. So, yes, am I losing content? Sounds a little shallow and vain. I definitely am. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a deal. To me, anyway. Is that a hit? I don't think I could cheat this one anymore. Damn it, I don't want to make another line just for this. Alright, I'll probably make another line just for this. Fuel line's on, like I said. Ran, all metal, goes around the back, so on and so forth. That's all taken care of. Gonna hopefully fire this thing up, or get ready to. Clean up my mess some, and just, reallocate said mess somewhere else. That's all fine there. The only thing I have to do, or one of the things I have to do, grab the 2020 battery, is I have to make a charge wire for this thing, because the one that was on here was kind of crap. Go up some. You're fine. So, and I wish I knew where the hell I hid the torch on myself, because I need to do heat shrink. Oh, torch! There you are. Yeah, I just have to put on a new charge cable. Like I said, the one that was on here would have worked. It's on the floor, I'll show you. But the problem with it was spliced a couple times already. Stay. It was spliced a couple times already. I don't feel like getting it. And where, I say that as I get it. And where it was spliced, right there, that's just a metal ferrule, just squished together. I didn't do it. You can tell it's been there for a while. It was riding the carburetor. Let's not put the sparky bit next to fuel. Now who's here? All right, let's do this thing. Also clear out my phone notifications so that we don't hopefully get interrupted too badly. But, a phone call and all probably will happen. Small screwdriver, snail. and the random miscellaneous parts that I'll probably never remember are in there. Battery connected. I don't know if I said this, but I did already rejet it. I'm running 55s in the idle and 145s in the main jet. So we're gonna see, that's usually my base tune for like a 1900. You go on like the websites, I think they call out about the same possibly if you look at like a Weber jetting chart. But that's typically what I run, and with varying results. I got a ton of other jets if I decide to, you know, run something else or do a different tune. If it seems like it's running too fat or doesn't like it or something like that. Cranking. Swamp fuel. Nothing. Nothing. It's going to take it a minute. Cranking. It's getting there. Oh, this carb. Fuel. Fuel. All right, it's base timed. The carbs are base timed. They're touching plus half turn. So that should be about right where they should be. As far as the idle jets go, I haven't touched them. So they're probably gonna need tune in, obviously. Give it another turn or quarter turn. And another quarter turn on that. Let's see if I can get these jets to jet. In half. One. That's 2 out on that one. A bouncy 5. Bouncy 4. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I gotta tighten this linkage down, get everything situated, and we're gonna move on to something else because now I am happy. All the cylinders sounded like they were cylindering, firing, and like I said, I am completely content with that. I don't know where my 8 went, which is that it? Nope, that's a vacuum cap. But yeah, they're all pulling 5, about where I like them. So I know, at least, like I said, I know these carbs. I've ran these carbs, not these particular carbs, but that's about where I typically see them. So I know I'm pretty damn close on with the old tunage. This and then the 8 wrench, so I can zip this guy down. because science. I thought I tightened this. I guess I didn't. Maybe I loosened it. I don't know. Still got to replace my J-pipes. But I want to jack it up running and make sure, hit it with water, make sure all the cylinders are hitting. They sound like they are, they're all tuned, but just got to make sure. I think I'm gonna have to check the valves on the passenger side. Ooh. Water bottle mist test, easiest way to tell if your cylinders are hitting. Just boop, and it should steam. Good. 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 All four. Well, hot dang, I think we have ourselves a race car. They're dialed. They're where I want them, unless they start doing weird stuff like spitting, sputtering, stuff like that. I won't know till it's under load. But the rev up sounds ideal, which is, you didn't know is ideal. Rev up's ideal. The I hate when they put these things on. I like them because it, you know, protects the stainless, but I hate taking them off. But rev up is ideal, and if you didn't know, an ideal rev up is ideally what you want. Come on. So we definitely have that going for us. We'll know more on the road. I have to make a few quick runs. Just go there. I'll make a few quick runs. I need energy drinks because I think today's going to be a long one. But we still have to get the damn brakes to work on this thing, which are good. Well, which would be good. Get the brakes to work. I got to get seats in this car. They're sitting over there. Couple odds and ends, and yeah, hopefully we'll get this thing on the road, because I know you guys are just excited to know what the heck this thing drives like, as I am. Oh, and I do want to do a alignment on the front. Just staring at the damn thing, it is questionable at best. Not like questionable bad, just like not questionable good. It's questionable to the point I'm questioning it, if that makes any sense. It doesn't. But yeah, so 1915, we still got to hook up throttle cable, stuff like that. Oh man, I got to put an actual throttle pedal in this car. There is a lot to do. And I got to get a bolt. Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. We're close to the tree line, or the end of the tree line, but there's still like a kabillion things to do. Oh well, of course this won't pull easy. Ta-da! Tight. Yeah, I am a bit excited with this car. Just a scotch. I'm not excited because I gotta clean it out. Yeah, not excited for the cleaning out process for the interior, but engine-wise, it's good. It freaking runs. Yeah, like I said, those Solexes, could I have relearned how to do it? Yeah, or bought jets, tuned them in, blah blah blah. I have the tuning instructions from Caddyshack. I don't like them. I just don't like them. They're sitting over there. The linkage is over there. Everything is just over there. I'm going with what I like, what I know how to tune on, and what I have, more importantly, parts for. Because if the random jets that I picked in this thing were wrong, well, guess what? I got a ton of jets. I don't know what that one's jetted as, nor do I want to buy jets. Jets are expensive, especially when you're buying multiples at a time. Not as bad as Weber, because I have to buy four. If you're changing idle and I have to buy more. I could buy less for that, but I guess you get 2 guesses for every one you get for this. That makes no sense, but I think it does. But yeah, all right, let me run to the store. I gotta get a bolt for that. Annoy some people real quick, and we'll be back. And I guess do brakes next, just due to the fact that I have all the parts. I gotta find them, but put the springs in the back and at least get the brakes to work. And I have a dual master I'm gonna put on this thing, because like I said, it's still running a single master. It's fine, it worked. I'm not worried about a single master versus dual thing, but you know what? Just gonna put it in. Seeing how also I'm not changing the fronts. I should change out the wheel cylinders in the front, but I'm not changing out the wheel cylinders in the front. So therefore, if I lose the fronts, I still have the rear. Or if I lose a front cylinder, I still have the rear. That's really bad advice, but it's really good advice. Anyway, I'll be back. All right, guys, let's do what I said I was going to do. When I said I decided to make a run, it's been way too long of hours-wise, but let's finish up these brakes. Should be semi-fast and straightforward. Let's go up there. They would just be, what am I doing? I need to put springs in. So I gotta get the old ones out. We just basically stabbed this thing together. As you can tell, these springs, I don't even think they're for this car. And the good thing is I've been driving around on them, well, 50 miles, but still, there's no tension. I can understand why this brake didn't break, or correctly break. This cable, lack than luster. So, new spring kits, hopefully they're the right damn ones. Which they should be. These are fine. We'll leave those. What I'm really needing are the bottom and mainly the top to pull those oh yeah, we got tension. Yeah, the bottom and then the top one. It's more important because that's the one that pulls the cylinder back together. Oh yeah. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, if you want to fight, I'll fight. We will tango and cash. Ha-ha! Look at that. Crap! I forgot the spreader bar. Now, I was just test fitting it. I forgot to change that battery. to make sure it, you know, it fits. But oh, yeah, these work. This front though, just get out. I even loosened my e-brake cable. I don't know what's going on with this arm. It's being quite annoying. All right, let's try that again. E-brake spreader bar. There we go. I can go in there. Minty. It's like that stupid side end. It's like, nope, 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 yep. Slide that in. Installed. I think we even did that correctly, right? Yes. All right, well, this side's done. But yeah, you can probably see how stretched out that spring is because it can reach. But this side, done, button up. We just got to bleed the wheel cylinder. Not a big deal for this. Get this drum on. Maybe. And let me do the other side real quick. Same process. And then I am going to open up the fronts just to look at them. And I do have hardware for them. Probably going to replace that as well. Okie dokes. Moving on to a said front. Just do passenger side because it's right here. There we go. It was tight on that bearing. I could loosen those shoes more. But I did not. Now I can because I have access. Those adjusters were pretty ridiculously tight. They are froze. All right, well, the flashlight died. You might be able to see in here. All new stuff. Well, the shoes are original, but everything else is brandy new. I need my bearing. Still looks good, nice and packed. Rolls all right-ish. It's just super tight on that spindle. I don't know why. They're aftermarket drop spindles. That would be the only reason I think that they're super tight. Damn it. I don't know. If we got to beat the crap out of them off again, we will. I don't like them. I don't like it, but it is what it is, and I'm not buying new bearings. Put it that way. Inside the drum looks fine too, by the way. It's not like scraped up gold or anything like that. All right, let's tap that on. Oh, what is that? Block plate. And the rag that I just had that lost already. Damn it. I have a collection growing over here. Yes, if you didn't know, they make retrofits for these, so you don't have to use the two nuts. Very, very nice. I highly recommend them. I knew it'd be one of these. But yeah, I highly recommend using these things. If not for nothing, it's you don't have to deal with the two stupid nuts. All right, let me knock out the other side, same process. I'm just gonna strip everything and put it back the way it was and call it good. And then we'll bleed the system and hopefully everything's gonna work. Like I said, this already untwisted this line, so it's not all weird. But yeah, let me knock out the other side real quick. Same process, you know, removal is the same as, well, installation is the same as uninstallation. Should be relatively straightforward, except it's on the driver's side. So everything is, reversed. I guess I lied. My receiver seems like it's ready to die. But, yeah, it's flashing at me. Anyway, we're going to change out the master. They're straightforward. You've seen me do it a couple times. Get the line out, unbolt it from the car, throw it out, rinse, repeat. Like I said, this one's brand new. Anyway, it doesn't look it, but we're going to go get rid of this. All the lines, all the hard lines, everything is new in here. So I'm not really worried about the, I don't know, breaking it or like rebending that front line to go to the rear cylinder. So let me get this torn out, flippity flop it around, and then we can bleed the brakes and hopefully have brakes. And then this car can drive. Minus the fact that I don't have any seats in it, and that's going to be the next thing. Yeah, I am jumping all over the place on this episode. I know this, but we have a running engine. We're gonna have brakes. I just kicked the spring. Oh yeah, I did throw on the new tubes. So the trays are actually connected, so that's a good thing. But let me charge this receiver up. And yeah, get a master cylinder swapped and yeah, bleed these brakes. Just gotta put a gas pedal in this thing because, well, reasons. I don't have one. Yeah, it's a process to get this thing on the road. I also had to order, apparently, I don't know what the switch is rated for, but it says I have no oil pressure. So I had to order a different switch because I know this engine has oil pressure. Because, oh yeah, I got to put more gauges in. Tack has to get wired. I have to install a temp gauge and an oil pressure gauge because why not, race car. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that still needs to get done. So like I said, I am jumping around a bit on this. I'm sorry. But try to follow whatever bouncing ball I'm trying to convey or show, I guess is what I'm getting at. Because I got to get, obviously, this thing has to go off the rack again to get that thing and then that guy on the rack. I might actually end up using this rack to do this car. I mean, it's convenient. It's not like I don't have two racks now. It's just annoying because it wasn't for service. Or I didn't buy it for service work. I bought it to literally hide a Corvette. But, all right, join me with my next ramble. I am getting nothing done in this episode. It is the next day, nice and bright outside. And I guess you're joining the old Ant Doors box channel because if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Last night, I think I left off saying, just going to throw the dual master in, blah, blah, blah. And, everything be going lucky and we'll go bleed the brakes. Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't think I walked out of here till about 1:30 a.m. Because, well, like I said, everything went smoothly. Okay, exhibit. I don't know if you can tell, but we now have all new hard lines. Left, right, crossover. And The front two, I just need to bend out of the way because dual master and pulling it forward, I had enough line or enough slack. But one of the nipples on the backside of the master, wherever the hell I put it, not nipple, fitting. I thought I put it up here. I did. Yeah. This one, that's closest to the frame horn, if this is the frame horn, it'd be like right here, decided to strip. It wouldn't back out far enough. I guess I bent it or kinked the line where I installed it originally. Doesn't matter. So, ran, you know, the passenger to master line. Then I was like, screw it. There's a small line here. Let's just replace that. Because, you know, thank baby Jesus, I don't have to rerun the front to rear. Well, if you notice, there's now a front to rear in there because, well, the baby Jesus said, no, you replace the front two. Might as well do the rear as well because I couldn't get that one to seal. I don't know where the end is, but I had all these lines severely over tightened. I think I was fighting that, now I sort of think about it, I think I was fighting that master to seal originally, so I reefed on them. Right now, everything seals. There's all new lines. Don't worry about the weird T. I'm still running the single pot reservoir up front. That will get removed and installed with, you know, just a cover. But for, you know, expediency's sake of bleeding the brakes, because after that I just pop it, I'll put a new master reservoir on and it's good. But after all that debacle, got everything in, I was like, all right, let's just bleed the fronts. We know we can't bleed the rears, but let's bleed the fronts. Let's try to feel somewhat accomplished. Go to crack this bleeder screw, and notice she's Wi-Fi now. Yep. So guess what we're doing? Taking the drum apart again. It's not like it wasn't just in here. Taking the drum apart again and replacing both front wheel cylinders. I know you could have yelled. Go ahead, yell at me. It's fine. I have thick skin. I put myself on the internet, and I'm an idiot. I was trying to get away with, like I said, trying to get away with not doing this. Because these wheel cylinders in here are, well, I don't want to use the word fine anymore, but they were fine. So, yeah, that's where we're at. We're starting the day like redo Randy and just, well, I'm going to do what I thought I was, you know, didn't have to do, which is fine. The biggest thing, okay, rant time, because I like to rant. The biggest thing with automotive, goes the other way, dummy. The biggest thing with anything automotive, especially automotive repair or what have you, or mainly this goes out to any of you guys that may or may not be working on your own car. Shit happens. It does. I was trying to cheat the system. I lost. So now we pay the price of it. Good news, all the adjusters work. Bad news is I got to pry this damn drum off again. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I probably do. Everything's good. Right now, anyway. First thing I'm going to do, if you guys watch this channel, you know I have a motive bleeder. I'm going to pressurize the system and see how many leaks we have. Or what I like to consider pre-leak bleeding. Brakes should be good. All right. Brakes bled. Next thing I think we're going to have to do is, what is the next thing we have to do? Move to the interior, or I might close out this episode. Not sure yet. Yeah, not sure. Join me in a minute. Let me get my thoughts together, because like I said, this episode with the brakes kind of went off the rails, and I have to edit. Yep, be right back. All right, guys. In the interest of transparency, this wheel's blowing apart again. Reason being is brakes are bled. I even went back and re-bled the brakes. I could not get a front brake. Scratch that. I had a very light front brake, and I kept having to adjust this one out. Every time I'd basically cycle a pedal, the shoes would, do their thing, and I'd have to come back and it had almost no resistance on it. So much so that these screws were way far out in comparison to the other. Apples being bananas, they should be basically the same. Looked in the inspection hole on these things, or the adjustment hole, and looked at the leading edges. I had this side in backwards. Yes, they are directional. I guess if these were ran on the rear, this notch should be with the wheel cylinder. It would be like your e-brake spreader bar. But it was up here. So I'm hoping by flipping it, I'll get front brakes. Well, better front brakes. Like I said, the pedal would travel so far down that it would be almost no pressure. So basically what I'm thinking was happening is the master can only supply so much fluid on a drum system, obviously, because shoes constantly expand and contract, or the wheel cylinders, they always retract. It's not like a disc brake where once you get the squeeze, they only move slight. I'm thinking that all the fluid for the master, for the front circuit, was going to this to try to fill this, and it basically ran out of master before I couldn't push down any harder because I had rear brakes, because the rears work fine. So let me button this thing up, adjust the shoe, and see if I get front brakes now. Because yeah, you might have noticed in the clip when I said we were good and we had front brakes, I had that bar lock, I had the brake locked down, and well, the front spun like there wasn't, because there wasn't. So let me get this buttoned up and report back. But yeah, not so happy. Let's see if I can get my rod to cooperate with some pressure on this brake pedal. Just lock in something. There, stay. I mean, they work, but I can still drag them. Is it drivable? Yes. Am I concerned? Not at all, not in the slightest. I have front brakes, that's all that matters. The rear brakes are, like I said, rock solid. I might, like I said, I might have a disc master, and they roll. I might have a disc master in this thing, which doesn't have residual pressure, and there's light drag. So that could be one of the issues. Shouldn't really be, but like I said, I'm completely fine with it. The car has brakes. If I decide that we need more breakage or more braking power, either A, I'm just going to swap it to disc brakes, or burps. Either I'm going to swap it to disc, full disc, or I'll get another master. Because like I said, I'm not 100% sure that I don't have the wrong dual master in here. Too tight, way too tight. There we go. All right. Whew. What a pain in the butt. But yeah, shoes being on backwards were definitely an issue for adjustment. Even though this drum is still way, way out of adjustment. Like height-wise or what, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. Even though the adjusters are like super far out, and the more I remember on this car, the more I remember that I did fight brakes originally building this car. Hence why all the lines were super smoked. The rear brake lights work, so I know the master is building pressure or enough to trip the switch. It's just a matter of, I don't know what the hell's going on. Because we still got the motive, and the motive's still holding pressure. So it's not a leak in the system. Like I said, there's no air in it. I'll do a bleed one more time. If this was a client's car, I'd be swapping out a master just for peace of mind. But some cars, they break weird. But yeah, spinny. And brakes. And I did adjust I did have to adjust my brake rod. It wasn't letting full off, which obviously is a problem. Lock in. And then yeah, I mean they're working. Not great, but I mean they're working. Like I said, I might throw in another master, but this one's working. I have fronts, I have rears. I'll take it out, see how it drives with them. If it drives super sketch, well then yeah, I'll definitely be putting in a new master. But if it's fine, I might just say screw it. I mean, let's be honest, if it works, it works. Whew. But all right, let me get this thing down and get some of his tools wrapped up, because yeah, she's done right now as far as the brakes go. I'm not going to mess with them anymore. And again, it's just my brake rod that's holding the brakes. It's not it's not using like a foot force. I'll know what what it feels like. In other words, if it feels super sketch, like I can't apply enough, well then yeah, we have problems. But if it feels fine because I'm using foot force and not a rod, we're letting it go. So give me a second, let me clean some stuff up, unhook some things, and might move on to something else. I don't know yet. All right, guys, getting ready to cap this video off. I made a little bit of off-screen progress just because there's me rolling around under a dash. Oh, flashlight, cooperate. Put a pedal in, gas pedal. It has the, I don't know, it's like the mod pedal. It has the roll behind it, or, you know, the roller behind it, and that bolts on. So, the reason I use that is I don't have a floor provision on the early model. Well, actually I do. I bought it. I just didn't feel like welding it on to put a factory pedal on. So, that's on. I just did a coupler in the back. Shifter also, just threw that in there. But other than that, nothing major. I'm running out of time to be able to edit all this footage and get it out to you Monday. So that's kind of where I'm in a little bit of a hurry. I really don't know what this episode's coming out to, other than dual carbs and fighting with brakes. Seems pretty legit for what I do, with no plan. But yeah, let me wrap up or close up this episode. And we got a bunch of stuff to do on the next one. And next one, we should be able to get it on the road. There's not a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of, it's the last basically 10% to drive it. So it's a bunch of tedious, I guess is what I'm getting at. So let me wrap this thing up. Hey guys, capping off the episode on 64. Here's where we're at. We're not driving it, obviously. This, like anything, you know, Aunt Dora was knocking and I opened her box. That didn't sound right. Anywho's, developments happened. I should have just went with that, yep. But developments happened. The brakes took way too long to get them dialed in. Are they correct? No. Did I screw up some stuff? Yes. But at the end of the day, are they going to work and are they going to, you know, put me into a hedge? No, I feel fine with them. It's either going to be bad. Either have, I'm not going to say a bad master, but I might have the wrong master. Because I don't think the rear wheel cylinders being spec'd for the Ghia 64 and not like say a 69, because there are two different sizes, should be throwing that much of a uh-oh in this instance. Yeah, I'm puzzled, but I'm not really scared, if that makes any sense. They're not leaking, everything's working, so it's all right. If it comes out to where I want to change out the master, I'll change out the master. But I do remember I've always had problems with the brakes on this car for some odd reason. With that said, dual carbs are on. The engine runs great. I am very happy with the engine now. Super happy. The brakes, well, I mean, it's a socket. They'll stop me, and I'm fine with that. Next episode is going to be one of my favorites. I got a bunch of wiring to do because I'm an idiot, and we have a bunch of gauges. Also, I have to put seats in this thing. If you notice, there are none. So wiring, seats, gauges, and take it out. It should be, what is that? It should be hopefully a quick, well, it'll be a long video, but hopefully it's just going to be quick progress because, Lord, I need a win. I got to get this thing out. Cars are stacking up and, well, like always, I'm going to lose the lift again. Yep. At least if I can get it wired, or at least wires ran, I might just throw them in. If you know, if you watch this video, I buy harnesses, like basically like trailer harnesses, so it has all the wires in it. I might just run that in there, kick my car off the lift so I can get other people on to get them off, you know, out of here, because, you know, this isn't making me money. YouTube needs to start paying me some more money. Give me, you know, I would like more subscribers and likes and shares and comments and so on and so forth. But that's not happening yet. But I need to get this thing off because it doesn't pay me. And those two guys are. Yep. Also, I have to, you know, now we're getting a little full because I was an idiot. And if you notice, the Corvette's floating right now. But anywho, digressing, regressing, closing out this video. If you like this episode, whatever it came out to, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, I promise you, we will chit-chat as always. Thanks for watching, and hopefully, see you on the next one. Hopefully driving this thing and wrapping it up. Yep, planned.